16 meters tall, 12 meters wide, 40 degrees overhanging in the middle of things. And the head wall, that section of wall at the top, it changes in angles. We go from 10 to 40 to 25 degrees at the top. And as we rotate through, we can see the route itself that snakes upwards through the middle towards the top. And there is that 100 you were talking about. Have to clip the final quick draw to get that. And that's the start.
And this route, we've talked through it with the route setters, it's very distinct sections. We've got a crimpy section down low, and then coming into a much more kind of dynamic, but yet still quite crimpy, the small holds on these blue volumes, but you're having to be very bouldery, having to be quite compressed between those holds, moving into this top section where things do get really, really difficult with a dramatic last move, just as we all love to see on the lead wall.
14.1 is her score, and that is the lowest of our 8. So even if she gets the maximum 100, she'll only be a little bit above Janja. And when you think Jessie Pilz is on 69, almost 70, Jain needs a fantastic round. She's got to top this thing out, really, if she wants a chance.
I do also think that Jain is just so excited to be in this round. It's great experience for her in a format that is not very often competed in. So yes, she would need a lot to make it, but what an amazing achievement just to be here.
So a slightly slow start from her there.
Yeah, she actually missed the jib on the left hold. She bumped her hand up a little bit, her first finger hit it, and she realised there was one there, adjusting straight into that as soon as she felt it. So good that she corrected. We know the start, it's quite comfortable climbing. Of course, not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but we've seen a lot of awkward, weird, uncomfortable starts. This is climbing. You're just moving between the handholds, trying to be as efficient as possible, but these handholds, they aren't very good. They are making them look good. Jain Kim looks very happy on those holds, but they are bad holds that are going to be really zapping her forearms and her energy and making the top sections much, much harder.
Yeah, she's hit the first scoring zone as well, so from now on she'll get points on the board, and there you can see on the lead it says 4, and Shauna explained that point system earlier on, but it ramps up in terms of difficulty and the points awarded, so more points, harder climbing, which is fair enough really. And Jain is her normal start. She's really precise on the holds and making sure of every hand movement here.
She always climbs so smoothly, but that does tend to lead to her climbing quite slowly. You can see on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, the clock there. She has 6 minutes total to climb. She's on 4:20 right now. That clock is obviously counting down. She's about to hit the 10 zone, so she's not quite yet halfway up the wall. Yes, she has a lot of time, but she needs to keep a really progressive pace.
And to balance, isn't it? And we see climbers doing that differently. Some climb really quickly, trying to avoid the pump. Jain has this style, so she reaches up with the right hand onto the crimps, upgrades that right foot. She really does sometimes look like she's almost in slow motion as she makes the moves towards the next hold. It's just so controlled from her.
And a demonstration of her strength. She is so insanely strong to be able to do these moves controlled.
There's white lines on the wall, you can see there. That's placed by the route setters, and that's going to be where the athletes could get a toe in. It's just a little hint for them.
Yeah, we'll see her reach up to the right, and when you say get a toe in, they're going to put their toe underneath where those white lines are and hook their foot underneath. That is the easiest way to do it. Maybe we won't see all athletes do it, but we do see Jain make the most of that now. So you can see those big white lines on that black volume. The route setters being kind enough to suggest some beta there for them.
That's the hold she's on. Good shot of it to show how bad it is. 3 minutes left in this Olympic qualifier as she hits the next 30 mark. Remember, the points ramp up between each mark.
She has the 30 in her left hand now. At this point, the holds are now worth 3 points per hold. If she makes a progressive movement to the next hold without falling off, she will get a 0.1 awarded, which was like a plus in lead.
All right, she's crossing underneath, and this section of holds, it changes. And you said it for the route setters, that it's a different style immediately when they hit this.
It is different style, different holds. She's on blue pill holds here. They do have screw-ons, some of them. Screw-ons are the little holds that are attached to the bigger holds. You can see they're kind of changing how they hold them. But she's now heading into a very compression section. She's going to flick out left, a really big move. Coming down, really straight arm. She's underneath her hand, but her body weight is directly underneath her. She's gone out to the left now. You see her hit that. She's going to have to squeeze between these. She goes from a wide compression to a narrow compression, and now she's going to slap over, needing to be accurate because the big hold above the hold she's going to is a blocker, just forcing them to be really accurate and also preventing a heel hook.
Yeah, heel hooks used by the athletes sometimes rest or make a move, and the route setters want them to do it. Almost missed the jib there, adjusted into it. And now she's approaching the head wall where we change the angle to that 25 degrees.
You see her turn there. She's looking down at the clock to check how much time she has. She has 1 minute 20 as she reaches the final section. The head wall being the change of angle here. She's up into the head wall. On this next section, we see her on the yellow crimps and the black volumes. She's starting to look like she's trying, but she is getting very high and getting a lot of points on the board right now.
Yeah, that move to the blocked hold, she made it look easy, but it's a really powerful movement, and it just shows her strength that she could do it that way.
A powerful movement, and the route setters said it was a really far move. Jain being one of the shorter climbers, yet making it look easy. She looks like she's got energy left to burn.
She does, but she hasn't really got time. 44 seconds on the clock. She's got a way to go.
She does, but she's still so solid. She's still so controlled, and she is not far from the top. This is a great climb from her.
Oh, that was close. Hit the crimp, locks it off with the hand. 30 seconds on the clock as she drops the knee down, crosses through, pops the foot.
Crosses through and loses the back foot. That is what brought her down there. She butts her tongue out. She looks like she tried hard. It was a great effort, and 92.1 points.
In the mode, if she likes the route.
Well, she can't hold on forever because she's only got 6 minutes.
That's true. I mean, she could
We're not going to let her.
We'd have to pull her off at some point. And he is up through the middle section. Good holds, but still, you've got to be precise. We show that Jain missed the jib on this move, but Annie's straight into it.
Interestingly, watching climbers on the start of the route kind of can often give a feel, or give maybe a suggestion of how they might be feeling. If they are missing holds, if they are jittering their feet around, if they look relaxed in their face or not, it all gives a lot away as to where their emotions might be at, which can suggest how far they might get on the wall. Annie looking composed and really accurate with her hand placements. She's moving her left hand down now so she's able to get her heel in, making space for that. She needs to do a lot on this route if she wants to be back up there, finishing the boulder round with 24.6, so not one of the highest scores by any means, but we know she can put a lot down on the route when it counts.
And it's going to have to count now for her. She stretches up to that crimp, makes the clip under her body, adjusted the rope, and there is the score. So currently in the scoring zone with a 4, and that will start moving up. But you can see the difference it does make. Jain Kim, even with that, 106. She's pretty close to Janja's score of 84. And there is Josh Larson and Meg there, 2 of the USA coaches. They'll be very nervously watching this with 2 athletes in the finals from the USA.
Annie may be starting to look like she's having to work a little bit harder here. She's about to hit the 10 zone. These crimps, they are so very small, often not in-cut, so they're not biting, they're not holding on to the climbers. The climbers are having to hold on to them, as I like to say. It's almost like it's hard work to keep hold of them. If you feel like you're fighting just to stay on the wall, then making movements is going to be very difficult. Annie, she's moving confidently, but she's pausing for a long time She's pausing for a long time, relatively.
Feels like a long
after
time, doesn't
she
it?
hits a hold. We can see she's on 3 minutes 40, which doesn't seem like much, but as she's not quite approaching the midsection of the wall, if she wants to take a rest, if she wants to shake out, she's going to need to do so very, very quickly. She can't take a long rest. She's climbing quite slowly, it feels like.
Yeah, I want to almost be shouting them on sometimes, just sort of chivying them up, because it's my eyes are glued on that clock, which is going down. And Annie resting in that position. There was a hold down on 10 where you thought she might rest because it was a better hold perhaps, but she moved quite quickly through that sequence.
Yeah, I asked the route setter on the 10 hold, do you think we'll see athletes resting there? He didn't agree that that would happen. I can see why, because it is so low down, and he also said it's not a very good hold. In my opinion, these women, doesn't matter whether the route setters think it's a good hold or not, they can shake out on absolutely anything. But it's quite low down, so they're not very tired yet. Annie is opting to do some slightly longer rests, but kind of shaking a little on each hold often. She's moving a little bit faster now, so maybe kind of feeling a bit more uncomfortable as the holds get worse. You can see her arms bent as she's making that clip, suggesting she might be getting a little bit tired potentially, and she's heading into the most physical section of the climb right now. This blue section is the most powerful section of the climb.
Yeah, and remember, they had that bowled around earlier on, so physical sections, if you're tired and your skin is bad, isn't great. So Annie's going to have to fight as she gets the left hand in and stretches the left out. Micro shakes with the hand, maybe starting to imply that she is getting pumped.
And also her face is looking a lot less relaxed, suggesting that she's starting to feel the fatigue. It's not an easy section here. Yes, we saw Jain Kim move through it smoothly, but she is very experienced on a lead rope, and that does not suggest that all athletes are going to be making it up to that head wall. Annie's starting to have to really fight here.
Yeah, she is. Got that crimp in, clip in, and was crimping hard with the right hand. A bit like Jain's style. Oh, that drop down, she nearly lost it, and we could be seeing her go. We do. And that leaves her outside of the top three with a combined score of 69.6. So not enough for Annie on the night. Just focus on the Olympics.
Very much so. My journey was a little bit confusing with COVID, obviously, delaying the games. But yes, when I qualified for the Olympics, it was a huge relief because it suddenly allows you to focus on the event, not having to do like preparation for other events. And yeah, it really changes things up. One thing that I do think is important to remember, if one athlete from a nation qualifies here, then there is only one spot from that nation available for that gender. It is 2 athletes per country, per gender, that can qualify, regardless of what country it is. There is a host country spot for France, but if they qualify 2 athletes, they won't be awarded a third. It just guarantees them a spot. So yeah, there's a bigger impact than just who we see get the tickets tonight. It definitely impacts other athletes quite significantly, which I think is important to note, and definitely something we'll be talking about at later events. But right now, Jessie is on the wall and looking calm and collected.
Yeah, similar style to the other 3. I wonder what about this route makes you climb like this. They've all just been very careful of their moves. Like they don't want to make sudden movements. Maybe some of that's the heat, but it's interesting to watch.
The route setters were also saying this route should suit their styles. He expected that the women would be feeling comfortable on this style of climbing. They know that it's all about points. It changes the way they set routes. Route setters often set bottom to top for competitions like this, whereas with climbs in this format, they set top down, which is a huge change for the route setters.
It is a different way of thinking, both in boulder and lead, because of this point system. Right, Jessie's getting points on the board. Meanwhile, she moves up into 3rd position. As it stands, remember, and you can see those graphics earlier on. That's provisional because it's based on what the other athletes do, of course, later on, just to sort of emphasize that. Jessie now bumping up into silver position, 85.0 her score currently.
But of course, if you finish the round outside of that top 3, you know you're not going in. So now we know that Jessie might be. Of course, there's a lot more to play for, but all eyes on the scoreboard right now as you see all those numbers. And back to Jessie as she just makes her clip so efficiently, looking calm, collected, smooth. She's a previous world champion in lead. She's familiar with fighting hard, pushing herself to the absolute limit. Rarely see Jessie make mistakes. She's just looking so smooth. She came out to Boulder with a confidence that is so exciting to see Jessie absolutely own the stage. When she climbs well, it's a beautiful spectacle to watch.
It is, and she's up to scoring point 30 here. Up with the right hand, but the moves change. So suddenly the crimps disappear, blue holds appear, and we need some compression here, some power from Jessie. Moves the feet over towards the left, foot on that jib, on the black volume.
And within just a few moves, if she can keep it together, we will see her overtake. We do right now. We see her overtake Jain Kim's score. She's currently on a total of 108, but looking like she's got a lot more in the tank. Yeah,
approaching or nearing the head wall section, but she has to go far left and then start going back right towards the middle of the wall, just to orientate yourselves, because angle can be hard to tell.
Making light work of the move where we lost Annie, just showing that this really is her happy place. She's comfortable on lead wall, gets a high heel, really helping her to pull her hips underneath the hands. Again, another high heel. Great demonstration of her flexibility and ability to use her legs so well to move through these sections efficiently.
Well, there Annie Sanders watches on. She's watching her climb, side foot turned onto that crimp, bumps into the right hand, and resting on a straight arm as we're nearing the yellow part of the wall. On to score 60 here. 100 beckoning up high. And that's the difficult, reachy, powerful move, which she's hit with the right hand.
And a roar from the crowd as she hits that. Her elbows are starting to come up, but she is still fighting, and she's fighting hard. This matters so much. An Olympic ticket is on the line right now as she pushes as hard as she possibly can through these moves. It doesn't look easy for Jessie, but wow, is she trying hard right now.
She's fighting, isn't she? Jain Kim looks up as well. Hits the crimp with the right, brings the left foot on that no-tex, onto the crimp, onto the jib that's there.
Shaking out with her elbow, starting to rise, coming back down so she can shake the other arm and give it a chalk. Oh, this is intense.
Oh, it really is, isn't it? Builds as we go. Minute 14 on the clock. But remember, the feet are tricky here. We're nearing the point we lost Jain Kim. Up with the left hand. Blocked as well. Oh, just hits it with the fingertips, but comes down. 137 for Jessie. I think she thought she could have got a bit.
7.1, so she cannot overtake Jessie's score, even if she tops.
There we go. So maths going on the commentary box. And I tell you, if you're nervous at home, we're nervous here as well. And the crowd as well. I mean, they were boisterous during the boulder round. Now suddenly they're tense. Everyone leaning forward in their seat. Let's see what Miho Nonaka can do as she makes the first two clips with ease. Got to just not over grip down low. Plenty of climbing to come. And Miho, a bit bouncier in her style through here than we've seen in the first few. Climbing quicker. So, oh, but missing this clip and fumbling with it. Hits it now, makes the clip. Crosses in with the left hand. And we think, we've been doing maths here, we think Jessie Pilz has made it into the top 3 as we're looking at this screen, which means that she...
Only Janja Garnbret and Brooke Raboutou can score higher than Jessie Pilz right now. Oh. So she is in the top 3. She will be getting an Olympic ticket tonight. I don't want to take the attention off Miho. I've done the maths. I'm confident. I checked it like 5 times. There are only 2 athletes that can beat her. So if one of those athletes falters, no, there are only 2 athletes can beat her. So if one of those athletes falters, she'll be second. If both of them do, she will be first. But she will be in that top 3 as Miho hits the 10 hold. We will come back to the action, but wow, I wonder if Jessie even knows.
Yeah, we might get a shot of her later on. We'll see. Right, Miho makes the clip, moves forward from that slight fumble she had down below. And she as well is being careful of her movements as she moves up to 4th place. 16 is her score on the lead. Hits the crimp, gets the toe on the left and micro shaking. Jessie seems to be moving from moments of complete calm into these moments where she's a bit more snatchy. Sorry, I said the wrong name again, didn't I? Miho Nonaka crosses up. My brain is just fried with all this climbing at the moment. Miho into 33. 87.4 is her total score.
It's been a long week and we've seen some incredible moments, and we've seen Miho climb in the finals of the lead World Championship, but she just falls there, looking a little disappointed. She looks at her hand.
Well, that is our current scoreboard. So Jessie Pilz is leading the way with 157. And yeah, we think she's through. Jain Kim in second place, Miho Nonaka, they're the ones who have climbed. Anastasia Sanders, she's the other one who's climbed this route, but she's down in sixth, and it's all about that boulder score. And we can see now the importance of boulder when added to lead. It just, tense stuff here. Jessie leading the way, though, at the moment.
And she's off. She's about to start. This is the moment that Brooke Raboutou gets to fight for her Olympic spot if she wants it tonight. Of course, there are other opportunities, but we know she wants it. She wants it as much as anybody else does, and she's going to be out there fighting for it.
I love that transition when she went from the eyes closed to the smile. So, Brooke, what can you do for us? Crosses through, nerves are taut here. She makes a double clip, hits the long draw, getting the encouragement from a lot of people in the crowd. And I did a little piece outside for the World Climbing Club where we were asking for predictions, and a lot of people were predicting this lady would get through, so a favourite amongst the crowd as well.
But don't forget how much pressure that adds on to these athletes. Of course, it's impossible not to feel it. Every single one of them will be. And the arena, we've talked previously about the fact that after some climbers have been in and around, the crowd get much more knowledgeable. An important factor to note, because you can hear there are shouts right now, but the DJ's nice and calm. The crowd are relatively calm too. Brooke, therefore, I imagine, will know that this section isn't necessarily important, but that can also make sure, that will also mean she needs to make sure not to make mistakes and be very attentive, something she's really, really good at. She's so good at relaxing into her climbing and using everything she can on the wall to climb efficiently. It's great to see her moving with confidence right now and looking really smooth.
She is, yeah, and she's into the 10-point now, so scores will ramp up a little faster as she goes further. In fifth at the moment, 10 points on lead, 79.8 overall, and she is resting on this hold, and she's good at doing this, those small crimps she likes, and manages to find a moment to shake out down low.
She really is. She's so good at resting efficiently. You can see it. She's open-handing on that hole, which means her fingers are quite straight, not up in a crimped position. Often she does that to climb more efficiently. She does crimp when she needs to. That's her preferred grip type, not a suggestion that she's getting pumped anyway.
Exactly, dragging away. All right, but now she's shaking a lot, and she does check the clock because she'll know that these moments will cost her in terms of time, and they're speeding up suddenly. You can see those tick marks there on the wall. Left hand out, right foot on a small hold, and suddenly Brooke with a try-hard face on as she approaches the 30 mark. Look at those drags. Drags when you open those fingers up, don't close the thumb over the top. Super strong on those moves.
There is lots of funny climbing terminology, isn't there?
It really is, yeah. I've run out of the jokes by now. Right, she's shaking those hands. And look at that great shot of that blocked hold. So the blocker there just to make things a little tricky and prevent the heel sometimes.
Yeah, just to force the athletes to be way more precise, and again, making it harder to put the heel next to the hand, just like you said.
All right, Brooke is up to third position.
In this section, she's getting 3 points per hold. So each hold that she hits, she'll get an extra 3 points. When she moves into the next section, that'll be 4 points per hold. She has 2 minutes 30 on the clock. She just turned to have a look at that. And it almost looked like she maybe was surprised at how little time there was. And maybe we'll see her pick up the pace or not, as she just has a little rest and shake. So she's clearly taken into account how much time she has and chosen to take a little rest here. We do know this move is hard, but she looks smooth through it. She just needs to stay accurate as she moves through these power moves, putting her heel up and really engaging on that. Yeah,
toe in as well, camming into that hold. Clever climbing from her. 2 minutes on the clock. Silver position, and 120.8 her total score. Up towards the head wall now. Now the DJ starts to ramp things up, as does the crowd. Brooks stretching out that left arm, trying to eliminate the pump. Shauna is doing maths next to me wildly here. My eyes, all of our eyes, look at this, up into the blocked crimp. Oh, the elbows are going now.
She looks like she's starting to struggle, but she did get a shake of the hand there. If she can get a little shake of the left hand, maybe she can recover a little bit, but we lose her there with a total point of 137.8. That is not enough to secure her a spot right now. Very difficult boulders. Oriane Bertone, all eyes on her in the stadium as it goes eerily silent right now.
It does. Well,
and now the crowd kick in as she pulls on.
There they go. Well, again, she's a firm favourite here. I mean, look, every athlete here is a favourite. I keep saying favourites, but everyone is being encouraged. But of course, Switzerland very, very close to the French border, so there's a lot of her home crowd here as well, and I think that adds to the atmosphere. There are the coaches, Romain de Grange in the middle, Coach Nico on the left. Crosses through, Oriane's into the scoring zone. Let's get some points on the board.
If she wants to secure herself an Olympic spot tonight, then she will need to get a total points of above 144.5. That is the maximum number of points I could score. Janja, of course, could go above that as well, but the top 3 qualify. She cannot beat Jessie's score. The best position she could get herself into right now would be the silver medal position. If she goes above 144.5, I can't catch her. Only Janja could, only bumping her down to 5th. We know Oriane has been training speed. We know she's been fighting to get fitter on the route. Let's see what she can do.
Yeah, and she's snatched at that last hold there, so we know she's perhaps more of a boulder and tends to have to thug her way through certain sections. So Oriane is trying to rest and get something back. She'll milk this one. To the chalk bag, trying to get rid of that pump.
I did wonder if athletes would rest her, and we do see Oriane take that rest, but suggesting that she needs to. It's a very low rest. We see it's only the 10-point hold. She needs a lot of points. She needs to get a lot of height if she wants to be up in that top 3.
Yeah, I think she's fighting here. Out onto the right. It's just, you can see it in her movements.
And she's really extended on that foot there, but she makes it work as she steps her feet up. She is fighting there. You can see her arms starting to bend, and she's starting to look a little flustered here. She gets that toe in, a difficult clip, but she makes it quickly.
Oh, okay. This is so nervy to watch. Has the left toe in. Will want another shake here if she can possibly get it. She's got a physical section to come, remember.
She has, and she can see that 30-point hold. It's not far away, but her feet are starting to slip around, and we start to see her fluster a little bit here as she's chalking out, trying to breathe, trying to get her air flowing, and trying to compose herself as much as possible.
Makes the clip, gets that in. There's the 30. Crowd are clapping behind it to the beat.
Almost missing that hold, doing a great job to stick it. Every hold she gets at this point will be worth 3 points from here. Come on, Oriane.
This is gutsy from her. Nearly dropped that. How is she on? Just the fingertips, and she does go on that flat hold on the next one. That leaves her in 5th, and Hélène Génicourt closes her eyes in sympathy. She knows what Oriane just went through, but that is not going to be enough.
A bad score, but not up there with some of the others. Ai has a lot of work to do here, but we know that she really can pull it out on the lead wall.
Yeah, she is our individual lead world champion, remember. Beat Janja Garnbret, due to count back. She also topped the routes. Let's see what she can do here. She comes up, hits that jib. Up with the right hand. And there's Oriane in the foreground as Mori in the background hits the steep part of the wall. And from here on, it's all in the arms. And we've seen a few athletes burn out through these sections.
Mori in the semi-finals, she finished the boulder round with 44.9, so a similar to score to today. And then in the lead, she got a 92. If she does that today, we will see her.
I'm being told by our tech people behind the scenes. If Mori does top or the hold before she's qualified, otherwise Brooke is qualified. That's what I'm being told in terms of info.
Interesting, yeah, so if she gets that 137.8, thank you to everyone for doing the maths for me. She needs to have a great climb right now. We know she's capable of it, but the pressure is on. Pressure never seeming to fluster Ai in the slightest, always looking composed, always looking calm, very rarely making mistakes.
And it's the kind of route that might suit her. You know, this resistant style of climbing she's really good at.
We know Ai tends to not enjoy the more dynamic moves. There aren't any big, wild dynamic moves on this climb. You said it perfectly. It is resistance climbing. The climbers just have to keep moving and fight the pump, but also not run out of time, which we've seen Ai do previously. So keep an eye on that clock, but also don't take your eyes off Ai at the same time.
Oh, it's just too many places to look here, and that scoreboard keeps moving as well. It's exhausting to watch, and it's brilliant action here for us all. What a sport climbing is. Out to the right crimp. High toe for Mori. Into that pinch again.
She seems to be climbing with a really good pace right now. Often we see Ai climbing very slowly, very deliberately, but she's climbing with a great pace. She's got 3:40 on the clock as she hits the 30 zone.
Yeah, down in 7th position, 74.5. Up with the right hand now. Now she's entering this different section, all the way to the left, back right towards the 60, and then pretty much straight up from there towards the center of the wall where our camera, the clip draw, and the last hold await.
And we know this next section is powerful. It's going to be zapping her energy. She does look calm and composed, but we've seen climbers have to fight so hard here.
Kicks out with the left foot.
Ai climbing really efficiently, really straight arms, not having to fight on these moves. You see her hit a hold. When she hits that hold, as soon as she's comfortable, you see her relax into that position, never fighting against herself, climbing really smart through all of these sections so far.
Into 4th now. Yeah, this blue section nearly finished. One last bump out towards the right as she steps through, and then we enter the final part of this route. Bit of relief for the hands, but the technical climbing steps up a gear. Oh, she just makes that reach through.
A huge move up there, but what impressive climbing. She twisted right in, making that move really work for her and her style.
Gets this clip in. Okay, well that's the last clip of the route before the top, so she doesn't need to worry about that anymore. Now it's just pure climbing. She's
climbed herself into bronze medal position and a few moves away from that silver medal. Currently, obviously, we've still got Janja Garnbret to go, but if she gets the silver at this point, she will be going to the Olympics.
And Ai looks up towards the heavily chalked up crimp, nails it first time, swings those legs over, and Ai not looking yet like she's really struggling too much, but pause here as she tries to find her left foot. And now she's got to do a big move, but drops it. And that is her in silver medal, 140, so we think that's enough.
That is enough, subject to appeals. Mori will be on the podium.
All right, well.
Oh, and she strides towards the wall with a confidence like we haven't seen yet in this competition.
She wants to get it done here. Brooke Raboutou in the danger spot, down in 3rd. 5:55 on the clock. Taking in those scores, so that's where she needs to get to for gold, silver and bronze, so we have an idea of where she needs to go.
Yeah, and Brooke Raboutou's score of 137.8, so that's the total score that Janja needs to get if she wants to be in a podium position. I expect she will be eyes on the top of this route though. I wonder if she knows if Ai topped or not. Janja's familiar with waiting behind the wall and she'll know what the crowd's reaction usually sounds like for a top, so I'm not sure. But also, let's not forget, she finished with a silver medal in the Lead World Championships. Maybe there's a little bit of redemption to be had tonight because she did top that route. It did come back to count back. And we did also see Janja slip in the semi-finals with a foot pop. I expect she's going to be climbing incredibly confidently and purposefully, as it looks like she is right now. She'll be wanting that top jug in her hands, and we know that she's capable of it, and so does she.
Yes, she does. 137.8. That's what she needs to get. She doesn't know, we know, and it's making it just so much to deal with here. Up towards the 10. It's on 94.9 now. Getting massive support from the crowd, as you can see, as she gets those feet down. I can't imagine the pressure climbing last at a World Champs like this with that much on the line.
I saw Janja earlier on in the Athlete Hub. She was looking so happy, so confident. It is great to see. When Janja brings her best self to the competitions, it is a wonderful spectacle to witness.
It's such a small margin though, isn't it? One little mistake, one hand in the wrong place, a foot on the wrong middle hold, and that's it. So nothing confirmed, but that's where she needs to get towards. Hold 39 or 54 points will get her enough points to get in. Brooke Raboutou must be, again, just, I can't even try to describe what she must be feeling either. Shaking out, she's totally focused on the next set of holds here.
Climbing much slower than we often see Janja climb. She tends to, we've seen her finish routes with time on the clock, but we have also seen her time out. Climbing very deliberately, little micro shakes as you saw there, wanting to climb as efficiently as possible, so she's got enough left to give on that head wall, on that top section, but she can only try those moves if she gets through these next ones, so she needs to stay focused and calm as she moves through every single hold on this route, and it's not far. There's just a few moves to go until she moves into that third position, guaranteeing her an Olympic spot, guaranteeing her a medal tonight, but there's only one colour of medal that Janja really likes to get.
She'll want the gold, but her fans will just want a few more points on the board. She's on 135. Now she's at 138.9, and the crowd react. I wonder if Janja knows, and we're about to see a different Janja, because sometimes she just flips it, and she's up to silver. Shauna, we know our Olympic places, but we don't know our gold medal yet. Will it be Jessie Pilz? Will it be Janja Garnbret?
We know our Olympic places, but we want to see a top. So does the crowd, and Janja would love to give us one. Come on, Janja. Let's see a top.
Yeah, let's see it up. It will be a lovely end to this women's competition. Straight arm resting. And Janja will have an idea from the crowd, surely, but that won't affect her right now. She wants the gold.
I'm not even sure if it's about the gold medal for Janja. She wants the top, just like I, focusing on that top hold after she came down. Janja wants to climb everything that's put in front of her. She trains as hard as she can to be ready for anything that these route setters put on the wall. I don't envy the route setters having to set for this field in the slightest.
Oh, it's a pop from Janja, but she is in the first position. She turns around immediately, thank goodness, because the coaches are screaming at her. And she's waiting, I don't think she knows yet. It's not confirmed for her. And look, she must see it now. Yeah.
I had an inhale of breath as that foot pop, but look at that. Look at what it means to her. Look how happy she is. She's glancing up at the leaderboard, a little look at the route too. Wow, Janja Garnbret is the lead and boulder world champion. She is going to the Olympic Games. Jessica Pilz is, and so is Mori. What a show that was. We didn't see a top, but it was full of action throughout.
I have slightly lost control here in the commentary box. It doesn't often happen, but I was on my feet there for a moment. Well, the coaches are hugging each other down there. What else can Janja Garnbret do in the world of climbing? I mean, what an ambassador. And she will fight again at the Games next summer. Well, that's confirmation of the results. 177 total for Janja Garnbret, 157 Jessie Pilz, 140.6 Mori. Brooke Raboutou in fourth, just pushed outside. It's got to be hard to deal with, but she will be back, of course. She has more chances. Jain Kim in fifth, Oriane Bertone 6th, Miho Nonaka 7th, Anastasia Sanders in 8th. Congratulations to all the women, of course, but special congratulations to the Olympians to be.
Janja, it is a privilege to be speaking to you right now. You've got tears in your eyes, I've got tears in my eyes. We just had maybe the most emotional hug I've ever had in my entire life. Can you tell us how you're feeling?
I feel incredible and relieved at the same time. It feels so amazing. Today I was so composed today, actually. Like, I was climbing like the lead route flawlessly, and I'm just so incredibly happy right now that I qualified, even though I qualified already once, but you don't get tired of this feeling for qualifying at the Olympics. So my second Olympics, here we go.
You're going to Paris 2024. You're going to get an actual ticket. Don't know if you know that, but yeah, a physical ticket, but that doesn't mean anything. The fact that you've qualified here tonight, does the World Championship mean anything? The gold medal, is it even important? Was it all about the Olympics tonight?
I mean, definitely that's why we came here, to qualify for the Olympics, to get that Olympic ticket. But that doesn't mean that other World Championship titles don't mean anything to me. They still do, but this was a special moment. Like, it's so hard to climb your best under this kind of pressure, to be in the top 3 to qualify, and I managed to do that today. I climbed composed and I was just so happy on the wall, just so relaxed, and I'm just so grateful for all the cheering, because without the public I probably wouldn't be able to climb this good.
I think you definitely would. We all know what you've got in you. You talk about pressure. Nobody could understand the amount of pressure that you are under as Janja Garnbret, the most accomplished athlete in our sport. Going towards Paris, that's going to be building. We know you can climb under pressure. Are you going to Paris for the gold medal? Everyone wants to know. Surely we think you are. You should think you are, but do you?
Well, I mean, it's definitely, your first part of the question is definitely hard to climb under pressure, but I just keep remembering why I started in the first place, because I'm having fun, and this is what I try to do in the most high pressure environment. So I managed to do that today, and of course I have one Olympic title. Of course I want to defend it, but girls will be training hard, I will be training hard, so we will see.
And one last question, I won't keep you much longer. You were a young girl watching these competitions once. What do you say to people watching that have big goals, to the young people watching that want to achieve things? Do you have any words for them?
I do. Passion is everything. Just keep having fun. That's the most important thing, and you will achieve everything you want.
Janja, that was absolutely beautiful. We can see your passion on the wall, and we can see just how much of fun you are having. And this smile right now, how you feel, it says it all. Congratulations, and a huge, huge congratulations on absolutely everything you've done before too. But tonight, celebrate that World Championship and the Olympic spot, because you deserve it.
Thank you so much.
Jessie, what a moment. You had to fight hard out on that lead route. Going in, did you know how much you needed to do? Did you know how important that performance was?
Well, I knew my bouldering round was kind of good, but yeah, it was still all open till the end, and I really knew I had to give all on the lead route and do my best. And yeah, I wasn't sure when I fell if it's enough or not. And then the coach had shown me then that it should be enough. And then yeah, I couldn't really believe. I really wanted to wait till the end, till it's safe. And my math didn't work, so yeah, I couldn't believe it actually.
You were sat on stage, the camera was on you, everyone was almost screaming at you to tell you you had an Olympic spot. You looked in disbelief. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, no, not really. it still feels surreal. I don't know. Yeah.
Almost lost for words,
yeah.
It seems like. Did you come into this competition hunting for an Olympic spot? Were you sure you might get one, or maybe not so sure? How did it feel coming into this finals tonight? Were you ready to leave it all out on the wall?
I knew it was possible for everyone in the finals. I wasn't really happy with the single disciplines, with the results. So I really wanted to give it my all, and yeah, it worked out.
You're going to be You're already an Olympian. You're going to be a double Olympian going to Paris 2024. You said you weren't happy with the single disciplines. Are you happy right now?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I was so nervous the whole day today, and I really tried to keep the pressure low and just try to give my best out there and not focus on the result or anything. I think it worked out quite well, and yeah, it's crazy.
Worked out quite well. That it did. You have a medal from the Lead and Boulder World Championships and an Olympic ticket. Congratulations, Jessie. Thank you for speaking to us. Hey, Brooke.
Hi.
I know this isn't the result that you wanted, and I know it's going to be hard for you to do this interview. Thank you so much for speaking to us. This was an intense fight in the finals. So many girls are coming up strong. A lot of people, a lot of pressure on you tonight. How did it feel out there to climb in front of such an amazing crowd?
Honestly, I had a lot of fun out there. Like, the boulders were really fun. There were some hard moves that, you know, I've been working really hard for this, and I feel like I was able to be in a good mental place for the boulders to just give it my all and really, like, do it for myself. And then the rope climb, I definitely fought. I kind of was already bleeding like halfway on the wall on my left hand.
Oh, wow.
So that was a little hard, but I definitely tried really hard, so I can't be too upset about that.
You did look like you fought to the end. It looked like you were really fighting. Of course, that's how you want to finish a lead round. Not the result that you wanted, but there are more chances. Are your eyes on the next Olympic qualification, the Pan American Continentals?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to take some time to decompress from this event, but I think there's a lot of good takeaways throughout the whole event. I got to go through every single round and fight really hard, and I know I'm going to come out learning a lot once I process everything.
There is a lot to process. I appreciate you talking to us right now. It is an emotional night for many people, success stories and those not managing to achieve what they wanted. There are more opportunities, Brooke. Please keep that smile that we all love to see on your face. You have got so much more to give this sport. Stay positive, Brooke.
Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone who's helped throughout the entire event. It was really seamless, and like the volunteers were incredible and all the athletes, so I had a blast out there. I'm definitely disappointed right now, but just want to say thank you. I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Brooke. We heard the question asked earlier in the arena. Are you happy?
Yes, of course.
You look so composed, but we saw a huge smile. Did you feel nervous before you climbed?
Yes, but when just climbing, I'm very exciting. So, but I wanted to reach the top. But Olympic ticket is very happy.
Hopefully the Olympic ticket is maybe better than reaching the top, but we could see you were looking at the top of the wall. You got so close to getting to the top, and you get to stand on the podium. You get your Olympic ticket. Have you been to Paris before?
Yes, just training.
Just training? Well,
yeah.
You get to go there and become an Olympian. A huge congratulations, thank you so much.
Thank you.